Welcome to Airflow BPM Businesses Processes Automation Training. Essential Techniques. This training aims to familiarize you with the main techniques used for process automation in Airflow BPM. In this training you will learn how to create forms, create automatic emails and notifications, create gateways in your process. You will also learn how to scale your process through process versioning. You will learn how to configure people's responsibilities for each task. You will learn how to configure your workspace. You will learn how to create and configure records. You will also learn how to use these records in forms, responsibilities, and even for process rules. You will learn how to create business rules with parameters without the need to implement scripts or algorithms requiring programming knowledge. You will also learn how to set deadlines in processes and tasks. You will know how to create triggers for these deadlines to automatically send an email in certain situations. Additionally, you will be able to determine access to processes and screens via access profiles. You will learn how to manage licenses and also the customization of your environment. You will learn how to create indicators concerning the execution of processes. In this training, we will create a process for purchasing goods and services, from the first version to the one which incorporates all of the concepts you will learn. We will not cover the concepts of BPMN notation. This subject is covered in our BPMN 2.0 process modeling course. You can continue the training without having taken this course, but I strongly recommend that you take this modeling course to better understand the elements we use. To purchase this course, all you have to do is access the address given on the screen. First, let's get to know the three main features of Airflow. The first is the process editor. It is possible to document and automate processes. It is a creative environment. This feature is often accessed by system administrators, process analysts, or automation developers. The second is the process portal. This is the portal where processes are posted for viewing or initiating process requests. We call them work items, but you can also call them queries or process instances. It is often used by end customers to view documentation or initiate a work item. It also allows your end customers to see the progress of his own requests. The third is the workspace or task area. This is where generated work items are received for actions by teams or approvers, and all of which are defined in the process. So, the kind of users for this feature are executors and approvers. And at the end, the three features will give you the power to define a process, publish a process, and automate it. This will then give you the opportunity to measure this process. We will start our training by creating our first process. You can access the process editor to create your process flows at any time. Or you can come here to this command, click on it, and then click on New Process. We will call this process Purchase of Goods and Services. Click Confirm. In the process editor, you can find on the left a palette of BPM notation elements needed to document and especially automate the process. With it, you can add initiating, ending, and intermediate events. You will also find gateway, element of tasks, and sub-processes. You can also add data objects. We will use these elements a lot to create forms, for example. You can also add pools and lanes. And you can also add other elements that better visually document your process. If you don't see all of these items, then your account is bound to be in a beginner mode. Click on this command, then switch to advanced mode. Let's get started. So, it's all about adding pool to this process. Streaming pool or pool is like a universe where the process will take place. And in this universe, you have the lanes which represent the responsible actors in your process. Start by inserting an initiator element. We will use this element here. When you click on the item, you will see the items you can configure below. For example, I want to insert a task. So I just click on the task element and drag this element. To change the task name, I can simply double click on the name. Perfect. I can also use the item property bar to change some attributes. So when I right click on the element and click properties, so that activates the properties on the right. Clicking on another element changes the attributes and properties of that element. So I can also rename my task text here using the property bar. And then I conclude my process flow by including an end of process element. A process always has this order: a beginning, a middle, and an end. Another interesting information: by default, when we are creating a new process in Airflow, it is always created in documentation mode. So, for example, you don't have access here to create forms. So, what we are going to do now is access my process properties. To do this, click outside your process. You will then have the properties of the process on the right. You can see information like the name of the process, the current version of the process, and the information we are looking for is this: automated process. When I click, so what's going on? When I go back to my process and on my first task, I can see all the elements. We will use the data input to make the forms. So, what are we doing here? I drag the element here. I can double click on this element, and that will take me to Form Designer. What I'm going to do, I will create two fields for my purchase process. For this, I click on the plus icon. This then gives me the possibility of reusing an existing field or creating new fields. For example, we are going to create fields. So we are going to click on New. The attributes of a field are composed of a text, which is the name of this field itself. This will be the caption of this field. There is also an optional description field. You don't have to fill it out, but it can be useful for adding information. Finally, you also have the option to select the type of information you want. I will create here a field called Description. It is not necessary to put the description of the description. And here, I select the type of information that will be displayed and stored. A text type field is a free entry field. We will also talk about other types of fields, but for this first lesson, we will only use text type fields. In our case, the description will be a text type field. Perfect. Now look at our form. In this form design, it already allows me to see how it will look and what my user will see. I will create another field here. We will call it reason of purchase. What is the reason for this purchase? I want this field to be a text type field as well. So I select the type text. Excellent. Clicking on the field in the designer will activate some field properties on the right side. I want this field to be required, so you must check this option. If I write a long text here, you can realize that it is a single line. If I want a field that allows me to write text in different lines, then I have to select the multi-line attribute. In this case, it works as I want. I also want the reason of purchase field to have the same characteristics. So here, I click on required and I click on multi-line. We already have our first form there. Feflow has a very interesting process testing feature. It lets you test your process so you can get a prototype of all the automation you've done. So, what should you do? Right-click on the process initiator item, and by clicking here, you have the possibility to launch a test item. So, start a new test work item. This is the work item screen. There you will see information about the history of the execution of this process. You will also see attached files while the process is running. And you also have all the conversations here and all the communication that has taken place. It can be the transmissions of information between the teams that are triggered manually or automatically. All this information is concentrated here. What can we do here? Firstly, we can see what our process will look like for the people who will act in it, whether they are process executors or process approvers. Now I will be able to complete my work item here. We are still missing a number of other things to complete this process, but even if it's incomplete, test mode allows you to run it as long as you have at least one next task. By clicking on View Previous Tasks, you can find the execution history of the process. For example, by clicking on Fill out the request, I see the data that was provided and the person who performed this task. By clicking on View All Fields, you see all the fields that have been filled in the process, and you can even make changes. Now, let's go to the end of our process. This is the finalization screen. It indicates when the work item started and when it was completed. We just tested our process and it worked for us. So, what happens to this process that we edit here? It is just in edit mode for the moment. It's not yet released for different users. It is also not possible to initiate process instances. To publish a process, you must click on the Actions icon, and then you will click on Publish Automation. I ask your attention here. You need to click on Publish Automation, not on Publish Documentation. Publish Documentation simply publishes the process to the process portal, so that your user can view the documentation for the process. What are we going to do right now is a little bit different. Click on Publish Automation. As you can see, the system doesn't let you publish anything. During testing, you can test the process configuration. However, Upon activation, it will validate every detail of your process before publishing. The system makes a validation. If it's negative, then it gives you an explanation. Look at the displayed message. Lane does not contain a performer. Please check the lane. What are we going to do now? We will configure the responsibilities of our process. To determine responsibility in each lane, we will use a concept that we call participant. This concept tells me how the person or group of persons who walk in this lane will be defined. In this example, we will use simple definitions, but there will be a class to dig deeper into the subject of the participants. I will ask you to follow this way. You will click here on the first lane, and by clicking here, if you don't see the screen, just click here on Properties. Here you have the option to select an existing participant definition or create a new definition. So I'm going to ask you to click on that plus icon, and then you will fill in the following. Let's put here requesters. This lane will be filled by requesters, and here you need to select the everyone type. This means that everyone in my company can participate in this lane. We will now configure the second lane. We are going to create a new participant definition. Call this one Purchasers. And here I'm going to ask you to follow this way. Click here on People and Groups, then click on this icon and add users available in your environment. Click on this Add icon. We will determine who is the coordinator of this group. We will discuss this later in the future lesson. Now, save it. You can then select the created group. Click on Confirm. Our process has determined responsible actors in each lane. Now, I'm going to click on Actions. I can validate my process. It will do the same as before publishing. Is there something pending or not? Let's click here on Validate. Now, everything is okay. There are no problems. So, now we can click on Publish Automation. Our process is now published. You can click on this command to go directly to your workspace and go by the menu. Now let's go to our workspace. This screen is the daily tool for the people who will work in the process. Here, all process instances generating during people's work are displayed. By default, only work items under your responsibility and in progress are displayed. You have the possibility to change these filters. We will see this a little bit later. We will now create a new work item. To do this, just click on the Add icon. We will then initiate a request for our process, purchase of goods and services. This is exactly the form we created. If you notice, there is something different here compared to our test item. Indeed, a number has not yet been assigned at this time. There are also new buttons on the right side. It is very common that when a user makes a request, it ends up being an error. Sometimes a user clicks on a process that is not the one he wanted to start. That's why the user must start or confirm the opening of the work item. There are these two commands here, next and save. If the user clicks on save, Airflow will save the instance which will assign the number to it, but it will remain in the first task with the information entered. If it clicks Next, it will save the instance, assign the number, and move on to the next task. By clicking on Save, the user stays on the first task with an assigned number. So there are two possibilities. You can save and keep the form from the first task. Imagine you have a big form with multiple fields and you need to decide something to fill in a certain field. You can just save it. And if you have already filled out the form, that's okay. Click on Next. I can even change the subject of this request by clicking on the subject. To confirm the change, I just can click outside the box or just click the confirm icon. We can continue to move forward on our process. You can see that the request has already been forwarded to the group of purchasers. We will discuss each of these types of responsibility in an upcoming lesson. There is a very interesting process execution visualization feature. By clicking on this icon, you will see everything that has been done in this request. This work item is currently on this task. If you want to see information about a task, just double click on it. The system redirects me to the information I want. To complete this work item, just click on End. Now, this work item has been finalized. If you want to look for it in your workspace, you will see that even if you select My User or Purchaser group, you will not see this work item because it is completed. If you want to filter finished work items, click this filter and click on Finished. You then have the list of work items on this responsibility which are finalized. If your user accesses Airflow from a mobile phone or tablet, Airflow is responsive. It will adapt to this interface, and you will get the same features in a suitable preview mode. Congratulations, you have just automated your first process. I think you will really enjoy this training because we will cover very interesting topics and study very useful features. Goodbye and see you next lesson.